Not. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our engineering visit today. I'm just going to wait a few moments just so everyone can get on, and then we will get started. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. So hello, everyone. Welcome to our engineering visit today. My name is Sarah. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a recent graduate of Berkeley, and I studied architecture while I was at Berkeley. And I'm from the Bay Area, so I've been around here for quite a while. So thank you for tuning into our virtual visit today. I especially wanted to thank you for tuning in just because of everything that's happening in the world right now. We as a community really want you to know that we acknowledge the challenges and pain stemming from everything going on, and we do stand with you. And I did want to invite you to read our chancellor's message on news.berkeley.edu to figure out how we as a community are responding and what we stand for and how we're taking action. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will get started with our engineering visit today. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. This visit is a 40 to 45 minute presentation, an hour-long visit in total. So feel free to type any questions that you have in the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. You'll notice that the chat is disabled, so anything you want us to see, just send it through that function. And we also will send out a few polls throughout the presentation just to learn a little bit more about you, where you're from, who you are, things like that. So feel free to answer those. And then this session will be recorded, but there is a different version available on our website if you want to rewatch any of the information, just because there's going to be a lot of information for you to take in today. So this is an engineering overview, which means there is different material than our regular virtual visit. So if you want to learn more kind of general information about our campus, you can feel free to go to visit.berkeley.edu and check out those visits. But this will be about engineering, and it's from the student perspective, which means that there is no admissions or financial aid info. But if you do have questions about that, we are more than happy to redirect you to the right place. And as always, we will end with a live Q&A where we'll do our best to answer any of the questions that you've sent in throughout the presentation. So with that, I want to pass you along to our two ambassadors today. We have Kristina and Casey. Take it away.
So hello everyone, my name is Kristina. I'll be one of your guides today. I use a she, her, hers pronoun series. I'm currently in Whittier, California. So to all SoCal fans out there, very big group of UC Berkeley. I'm a rising junior, and I am in the College of Engineering, majoring in industrial engineering and operations research. A little bit about me, I'm in the UC Rally Committee, which is a spirit group on campus. I'm also in 2 engineering clubs, Hispanics and Engineering and Science, and Society of Women Engineers, and have also taken part in HOSBB, which is a year-round program for high school students interested in business that's run by our Hall School of Business. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, then I'll be your other tour guide for today. So my name is Casey. I use the pronouns he, him, his. I'm currently in Long Beach, California. I'm a rising senior. I'm in the College of Chemistry, majoring in chemistry, but I still know a lot about engineering, so don't worry. I still know just a same amount, or at least, yeah, as Kristina, words. And then my involvement is UC Rally Committee, so same as Kristina, so very spirited. I'm also in Cal Student Philanthropy, so philanthropying it up. And as well as I am sports, which is just like working out and just staying fit. And then one very quick thing I want to do just before we start the tour is I have this lovely Cal sign. It's kind of like fading me out, but hopefully after this tour, you'll be excited about Berkeley, and you too will want to own a neon Cal sign like this one day. You'll be that excited. But so with that, we can continue.
Love the sign, Casey. So yeah, I'm going to give you guys a quick little introduction to UC Berkeley. But first, we just want to know what kind of student you are. So if you're rising high school senior, you know we have a couple of you filling that out. So yeah, just put if you're a family member, if you're a prospective student, prospective transfer student, you could fill that out. And yeah, so on your screen right now, you'll be able to see a couple pictures. I'm going to go through a few of them. So on the left-hand side, left top corner, you can see our football team in California Memorial Stadium. Football and overall athletics is a really big part of the school spirit scene. So I love going to football games, literally my favorite part of the fall. So yeah, you can buy a student pass to take part in like football games and all of that. So highly recommend it. Right there in the middle, you'll see a picture of a tower. That tower actually stands at the middle of our campus. It's called the Campanile. It's a 307-foot clock and bell tower. It has astonishing views from the top. Students with their student ID, usually during like the regular years, are able to go in all the way to the top of the tower for free, like every day if you want. Has the best views on campus, and it's just like you hear it ring every hour, and it just brings a lot of joy to campus. And yeah, and then on the bottom left corner, there's a 150W logo. This year, we're a year of 2020, we're celebrating 150 years since admitting women into our campus, and also 150 years of women in the College of Engineering. So real nice thing to be very proud of. We're only 152 years old, and we've had women on our campus before they were allowed to vote, before a lot of other institutions accepted them. So we're really proud of that. And overall, all these pictures kind of show some of like student life on campus. So yeah.
Okay, and so now I can give a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. So as you can see on the screen, all the lovely little bullet points. So first was an overview of Berkeley, like Kristina kind of mentioned. Then we're also going to do an academic overview, so kind of mentioning like what colleges are here, but mainly College of Engineering. Then a lot of engineering information. Again, it's an engineering tour, so a lot of information in engineering. Then a little bit about student life and resources of what's available to students when they are here on campus on a regular school day, usually when there isn't a pandemic around, but also when there's a pandemic, also resources for that. Also labs and makerspaces for, labs and building things and going to like, making prototypes if you need. Then research, and also just the legacy and like some fun alumni that have come to Berkeley and graduated, especially in engineering or in engineering. And then we'll go into the Q&A from there. Cool. So the first thing we're talking about is the history and establishment of Berkeley. So we were founded back in 1868, and back then, President Abraham Lincoln, he signed an act that gave California land for universities. It's called the Memorial Land Grant Act. And with that, he just gave land to California to have universities. We were the very first one, so we were just Cal, University of California, so we went by the name Cal. It wasn't until later when other UCs popped up, like UCLA, UCI, UC Davis, that we then went by the name UC Berkeley. But so today we still go by both Cal and UC Berkeley. You could also call us UCB, but like, don't force it. That's not the one we usually go by. It works, it could happen, but like not usually. And yeah, as you see, first of the 9 undergraduate colleges. Our mascot is the golden bear. Moving on in the slides, you'll see that our mascot's a golden bear, but he goes by a different name called Oski, and he's not like a ferocious looking bear. He's a little huggable little beast, so you'll see him later on. And our campus size, we have about just shy of 32,000 undergraduate students, or just over 31,000 undergraduate students, more like it. And with that, just shy of 4,000 are engineers, and we have just shy of 12,000 graduates, with just over 2,000 of them being engineers. So a sizable chunk is within engineering.
Yeah, so there's a lot of students, and obviously Casey pointed out that only about like a little bit more than 3,000 students are actually like undergrad engineering students. So here actually are like 5 undergraduate colleges that make up those 32,000 undergraduate students on campus. So we're going to be focusing on the College of Engineering, which has a total of 11 majors. We're also going to be talking about the College of Chemistry, just because chemical engineering is located in the College of Chemistry, even though it is an engineering like based major. So we're going to be focusing on those 2 colleges for the most part. But there's also the College of Letters and Science, which has about 75% of our student population on campus. So if there's, some sort of like major in the humanities field, you'll probably be able to find it in the College of Letters and Science. We also have the Rausser College of Natural Resources. The Rausser College of Natural Resources is going to focus a little bit more on like environmentally based majors and utilizing our resources to the best capability. And then our environmental design major, which is going to focus on architecture, city and regional planning, all of that. So we have 5 colleges. You apply directly into the College of Engineering or the College of Chemistry if you want an engineering-based major. You can also transfer from other colleges. It's just kind of like a whole process. So encourage all of you to apply directly.
Okay, wonderful. And then also just a quick note on changing colleges. It is possible. I actually started out my life in College of Letters and Science and then changed to College of Chemistry. It is possible, but you do have to keep that GPA up and like take the certain classes, but it is doable. Just wanted to add in my little story there. So now we're going to go into the College of Engineering. And just first, let me just say that College of Engineering, we are ranked number 3 in the world for engineering. So it is going to be a very, it is a very rigorous program, but just know that you are getting the best education for engineering, or one of the best educations for engineering. So it's like to lead in with that when I go over the overview of College of Engineering, because some people come in and say, well, how much do you study? And how much do you need, how much do I really need to study? Can I still do, you're going to get all of the fun life of college, but it's a very good program. So just want to lead in with that. But as you can see, there's a little mission statement there. If I can just move there we go. I'm going to transform the lives of our students by preparing them to become successful leaders and innovators for positive change. So again, just making them like the forefront of engineering in the world and making sure they, will go out there and do great things. And so I'm leading into culture and community. They're all change makers. They're all challenge the status quo. They all want to go out there and make the world a better place. And they're being taught by the best people out there to go out and actually accomplish much in life. Plenty of research also available here at Berkeley, because there are in the Bay Area. We have a lot of research available, and also we also work with a lot of other schools, which you can even go and research abroad. I know one of my civil engineer friends went and worked on the Sydney Bridge in Australia, so that was fun. And then with community, compassion, passion, and social justice, everyone here is very passionate about what they do, whether it's their major or whether it's just what they're active in outside of campus or even on campus. Everyone is very involved with what they do. They really all just fight for what they believe in, and just they work hard workers. Everything here in college, and especially in College of Engineering, spirit and pride. Kristina and I will tell you all about the spirit, because go Bears, Rallycom. But yeah, so plenty of spirit and pride, and diversity and excellence. Again, striving to be the best and mingling with all who want to do it in engineering. So yay, a quick overview of engineering.
Yeah, so perfect. So Casey mentioned we're 3rd overall globally, and all of our 11 majors within the college are all ranked in the top 9 globally. So whichever major you choose, it's going to be one of the top ranked programs in the nation. So don't worry. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about our majors. So go ahead and choose which major you're interested in. You can, choose a couple if you're interested in multiple. But yeah, go ahead and do that on the poll. So yeah, on the right-hand side, you can see a pie chart, and that has all of our 11 majors inside of it. Actually, all 11. Undeclared is on there too. As you can see, most of it is taken up by electrical engineering, computer science, mechanical engineering, and bioengineering. So those are going to be kind of larger majors in a larger community, but there's also very tiny majors within the College of Engineering to find that small community as well, even in a very big public university. So yeah, kind of like the pie chart, most of you are interested in electrical engineering, computer science, but we have a good mix. We have some chemical engineering, mechanical. We have all the options are filled out, so that makes me happy. So yeah, you are able to switch majors between the College of Engineering a little bit easier than students who aren't in the college. So that's a good plus of already being in the college. Let's say you wanted to change from mechanical into bioengineering, you're able to make that switch. Still have to go through some paperwork, meet with both advisors, but it's a little bit easier. We also offer an undeclared engineering major, which is what I came in when I came into Berkeley. And the undeclared engineering major, you basically come in, you say, oh, I really don't know what I want to choose, just because there's so much variety. And you take a seminar course your first semester, and then you're able to choose from any of the engineering majors that you see listed on the pie chart, and we'll go over them in depth. But that's also a cool major in case you don't know exactly what, and you just put some kind of engineering in the pool. After graduating, most of our graduates of the college go straight into industry, but we also have, I think, around 25% that go into grad school or some type of research kind of down that lane. So they either go to another institution, usually a lot of other highly ranked institutions as well, or they stay in Berkeley. We have a 5-year master's track that's available to students to apply to during the fall of their senior year. So that's also an option as well if you're looking into grad school and kind of want to get it done right after undergrad. And then also research, as I mentioned, a lot of students do research in undergrad and continue that research after graduating, or graduate with a degree and then start getting into research. So these are all kind of where students go after graduating, but we're going to talk more about the majors and what students do during their time at Berkeley.
Great. And so now we can actually start going about the majors, and Kristina talked about it beautifully with the engineering undeclared. So yes, you can apply into engineering undeclared, and once you get here by the end of your 4th semester, you'll then declare a major. And like she mentioned, introductory seminar. But one key thing though is that it is a very difficult major to get into, because when you apply it, you basically can go into any major easily. You just sign, you say, oh, I want to go into this, and you're into it. Having that much choice means that a lot of people want to have that choice, which means it's a very competitive major to get into. So just know that going into it. The engineering undeclared, I used to say it's like a unicorn. It's very hard to find, but then I met Kristina and I'm like, oh, they're not that hard to find, just a little bit more rare. And so that's engineering undeclared. Then we can go into nuclear engineering. And so nuclear engineering with research, development, and energy and radiation. So with nuclear engineering, they're mostly focused on, I found this lovely little thing on their website, on their little overview of like, what is nuclear engineering? Because even I didn't know, like you saw on the pie chart, I think like 2% or something of students in engineering are nuclear engineers. So the only thing I knew about engineering or nuclear engineering is that we used to have a nuclear reactor on campus. Now we don't, because that was like an older thing, but now we don't have it. But when I looked it up on the engineering website, they said that they kind of focus on everything like making electrical power, because apparently 20% of the nation runs on nuclear energy. So they really help students like try to like better the processes of making nuclear power, or like how the nuclear power is made. They also work with like medical isotopes is what they mentioned. And I just remembered that because chemistry and isotope, I'm like, oh, I know that one. I also just realized that my name on Zoom is incorrect. I misspelled chemistry. It's my own major, so I probably should have done that. Chemistry, there we go, right? Yeah. But yeah, so medical isotopes is working with like medicine, and then also working with like shipping containers of actual nuclear materials. So like working within the government, or just like working with nuclear materials and how to ship it properly and safely. So that's a big key thing they have with nuclear engineering. Then bioengineering, and so bioengineering is basically everything you would expect with biology and engineering things. So it worked better within biology, like within biomedical systems, or just within biological systems, or just developing technology to be able to be used within the medical field. So that's a lot of what bioengineering is. So that biomedical is information technology, genetics. Again, I already kind of give the overview of working within the medical field with bioengineering. And then the pictures very quickly, I can go over them. So Echeverry is nuclear engineering, also mechanical engineering, but we'll talk about that in a second. Bottom right is Stanley Hall, that's our bio engineering. And then the top right is the seeing is believing. I believe that is with, I think that's just meant to demonstrate engineering undeclared, but I would think it's more of like an EECS thing that we're going to talk about later. But again, just one of the cool projects you'll work on at Berkeley. A lot of them engineering, they do have like projects and lab courses that you would take. And so that could be one of the projects that you can work on while you're here at Berkeley.
Yeah. So first, we're going to talk about industrial engineering and operations research, which is the major I'm currently in. So it focuses, as it says on the screen, complex systems operation and making processes more effective, efficient, and safe. And I think that's a great description of the major. I didn't know what industrial engineering was before even coming to Berkeley. And I learned about it through that seminar course in undeclared engineering. But if you basically think of kind of like those big companies like Disney, like Amazon, Boeing, those are kind of the people who hire industrial engineers, and they just want to make the best customer satisfaction and make everything as efficient as possible. So if you think of kind of like those big name companies and how everything seems so seamless and it's just kind of like product line, like everything's super quick, that's kind of what industrial engineers try to mimic and try to bring into every single company they bring into. So that's one of our majors here. We also have material science and engineering. They focus on desirable material properties, function, environmental impact, feasibility, cost. So they look a lot, they take a lot of like chemistry and kind of like physics-based courses, a lot more on the science side than industrial engineering, because they have to figure out what like particles like work best in like certain scenarios. So for example, a lot of material science and engineering students are in a club called Concrete Canoe Club, where they basically spend the semester/year working with different kind of concretes, and then at the end of the semester they make this big like canoe, and then they go to Lake Tahoe and they try to make this canoe made completely out of concrete. I wouldn't really pick concrete to make a canoe, but they make it work, and their whole like goal is to make sure that it can float like with no one in it, and then they get inside and make sure it can still float. So like you wouldn't think concrete would float, but they figure out how to like work with properties and like, you know, like maneuver materials to make sure that they can like be like better for the environment or better in cost, or like be like, we have an excess of this material, let's try to make this product out of this. So yeah, on the right hand side picture, you can see Hearst Mining Building, and that's where that like major is based, and it's probably like the most beautiful building in the College of Engineering. So that's also a plus to being in that major. That building is like, all majors have classes in it, but it's just like really beautiful, and the architecture, it's like gorgeous. I think it's a historical landmark of like California now. So yeah, check that out. And then on the left hand side, I think that's like a presentation, like poster presentation on the bottom left corner, and then on the top right is just some like students doing research.
Neat. And so then continuing on, so I mentioned civil engineering, and here's civil engineering again. So civil engineering, they are just working with infrastructure and how to, I mean, the best way I can think of it is steel bridge. And with that, to actually make steel bridges, there's also a club that they're like, as you can see the top left picture, actually is a club called Steel Bridge, where they go and actually build a steel bridge, and they're very like impressed, so it only flexes ever so much, or it doesn't only bends a certain way. And they're really, I say this in all loving ways, they're really nerding out about it. They geek out over steel bridges. And so that's the best way I can describe civil engineering, is they really like to go out into the world and work on bridges and just work on infrastructure, making it safe and sturdy enough to withstand, especially in California, making sure it withstands earthquakes. So it's a very great major. Again, a few of my friends in civil engineering, they do all participate in steel bridge. And he's also, my friend also went to Sydney to go work on the bridge. So again, bridges are all I can really think of for civil engineering, and they're really into it. And also civil engineering also has environmental engineering kind of tacked onto it. Inside one of the buildings for civil engineering called Davis Hall, Davis Hall actually has the largest construction bay in the Bay Area. So pieces of the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Bridge have been tested within Davis Hall. So it's really great to have that in Berkeley, so students can actually like have the whole construction bay open to them to use. But within that building, it also mentions environmental engineering. And environmental engineering kind of working with civil engineering with infrastructure, but also making sure we don't really have too much of a lasting effect on the environment, and making sure the environment is still flourishing while civil, engineering is building their buildings, making sure the environment's not affected too much by it. I mean, it's sustainability, like that's a great word to summarize it, sustainability. But yeah, so the top left is steel bridge, and the bottom right is environmental engineering research, again, out in the field, trying to like collect data. And then we have mechanical engineering, and mechanical engineering, they have multidisciplinary projects. So with mechanical engineering, it's really, they kind of focus on, you kind of pick and choose, like not like disciplinary. That's the word I'm trying to say. I'm so sorry for people that I'm butchering all these words, but they really get to kind of pick and choose what they want to work on, whether it's like the human health, or whether it's with like actual mechanical engineering, like, they can make prototypes, or if they want to build, or if they want to focus on machines. The mechanical engineering have a lot of different assets you can kind of focus on within mechanical engineering. So it's like a very big department that you can work within. And material and machine design and applications, like I mentioned, with a material and machine design and then prototypes, they actually have many maker spaces you can go and build prototypes, or just like build and construct things, so you can actually see how it would work and how to like better improve it. So they have a lot of spaces for that with mechanical engineering. And so the only other two pictures I haven't talked about are mechanical engineering. So the bottom left is Etcheverry again. So like I said, nuclear engineering is held there. Same with mechanical engineering. And then top right is O'Brien Hall. And I believe next to it is Hesse Hall, that has a giant like collaborative like study space for mechanical engineers. And so all of that is all open to mechanical engineering and civil engineering, so they can kind of really get into what they want to study.
Yeah, and then to continue on with our majors in the College of Engineering, we have an engineering science department, which has 4 majors inside of it: energy engineering, engineering mathematics and statistics, engineering physics, and environmental engineering science. Some of these are really similar to majors we already have in other departments, such as like civil and environmental engineering, but these are a lot more focused on like specifically like environmental engineering, or like specifically just mathematics and statistics, and like won't focus on like chemistry and physics classes. What I'm not in this major specifically and don't know, it's very small departments, I know some of these departments, I think it was for energy engineering, they have like a total of like 40 students across all 4 grade levels. So they're like very like niche like topics. And because of that, you get like very like one-on-one help with your advisor, which is something that a lot of like engineering science students like tend to love. Aside from that, engineering science tends to focus a lot more on like theoretical versus like applicational based classes. So that's something to look forward to as well as just overall having like an interdisciplinary approach to engineering. So since these are like very small departments, you have a lot more flexibility in terms of like, you don't have to take like these 10 core courses. It's a lot more flexible in terms of like, you can kind of like mold your major into what you want to specifically do after graduating. So yeah, they're very small departments. You get very one-on-one advising. And if you're interested in any of these topics specifically, would highly encourage like looking up like more information on these majors and applying to them, because they're not offered at too many colleges, but here at the College of Engineering, we're able to offer them for like a small amount of students. So yeah, and they all focus on green technology, energy systems, sciences, math, biophysics. So those are kind of like the main things they focus on, and then obviously depending on the major.
Great. And so that would leave us with the last major that we haven't really talked about yet, which is electrical engineering and computer science. So electrical engineering, computer science, or EECS, I'm probably going to call them both, even though you guys know it's EECS because I told you the acronym. I'm probably going to call it both. But with EECS, they do focus on technological problem solving. So one big key thing about EECS is that you go into like lab classes or you work on a project with others together. My 2 freshman roommates were both EECS majors. They were always working on a project together. So they're always working together to solve a common problem, or just to kind of like work out a problem that's happening to one of their, they'll code something and work out, they need to run the code and work out what's wrong with it. That's one really big thing they have is problem solving. Like collaboration in industries, they're collaborating with everybody. And there are also a lot of research and internship opportunities they can have within the industry. I know the one thing I know about my old roommate is that he ended up getting like an internship at Google like after his freshman year. So a lot of places to work in the industry, it's an up and coming thing. So EECS is a very big thing. Computer aided design, making computers do your bidding basically. And then microwave, quantum, and optical electronics and circuits. You learn everything there is to learn about computers and all of it. But one key thing, also very quickly about the pictures, on the left, that is Corey Hall. On the right, top right is SOTA, and within electronics lab on the bottom right is within Corey Hall, just one of the labs you probably work in. What it is, just like a bunch of computers set out and about. They work with others. There's a projector up, or a screen is projected up on the screen. A picture is projected on the screen where you kind of follow the rules and you ask like GSIs or graduate student instructor for help as they walk around. So that's the pictures, but we're going to continue talking about EECS now and computer science because there are 2 different computer science majors here at Berkeley. One of them is EECS and one of them is computer science. So EECS is a BS, and that is in the College of Engineering, which Kristina mentioned in the beginning, you directly apply into a College of Engineering, versus computer science, that is a Bachelor of the Arts, and that is in the College of Letters and Science. So when you apply to the College of Letters and Science, you apply as undeclared, intending to major in computer science. After you complete, I believe it's 70 units, you will then declare computer science. So those are 2 different admission processes. So, and because we have EECS available, that's why computer science is a BA, even though they both do computer science. It's the same with chemistry. There's a chemistry in College of Chemistry and chemistry in Letters and Science. One's a BS, one's a BA. It's the BS in College of Chemistry, a BA in Letters and Science. Electrical engineering, computer science, they are both hardware and software integration. So you're both working on like coding and actually making a code, and then also seeing how the computer is reading that and like what the actual system is doing. So that's why I work in with the actual electronics and like the actual hardware within the actual computer and within the not monitor. That's the electrical engineering, computer science majors know what I'm talking about. The bigger thing, the modem. Modem? No, that's enough. Anyway, moving on. So computer science, they're also definitely more flexible because they are not working on so much of a hardware. It is a little bit more easy to do a double major within computer science. There's a little bit more flexible on how to handle a major versus electrical engineering, computer science. They're a bit more like tasked on both hardware and software. So I can't do a double major as easily, but say la vie, that's what you get electrical engineering with your computer science. It's already kind of a double major in it. EECS also has 4 breadth courses. So just the breadth of the College of Engineering versus computer science has 7 breadth courses of letters in science. Those are like a foreign language, trying to think of the international relations, philosophy, like a bunch of different breadth requirements you have to take that electrical engineering, computer science do not have to take. But they do have ethics and specific math and physics requirements. So there are different requirements for the different majors. You have to kind of look, you go online and look them up, you can see them side by side what the different requirements are exactly. And finally, computer science is an impacted major. So you do have to have a 3.3 or higher GPA and plus have some core classes to get into a computer science, because a lot of students, they can double major with it. So that's why it's even more impacted than electrical engineering, computer science, because you are competing with people who are taking it as a first major and as a double major. And then on the left, you can see Jacobs Hall projects. Again, they're working on plenty of projects. Like I keep mentioning, there's projects galore to work on in computer science. And then the courtyard, which is one of the places that you can work on a project with friends, or you can just have lunch there with friends, or a great place to hang out when you're allowed outside. But yeah, it's a little bit comparing EECS and computer science.
Yeah, so right here, we're going to talk a little bit about other opportunities. So we have joint majors. Obviously, Casey talked about double majoring. A lot of students choose to double major in computer science because it's in the College of Letters and Science. But you're also able to do joint majors within the College of Engineering. So the College of Engineering has a lot of like core curriculum in terms of like, if you want to do a major there, it's like your 4 years are kind of set in what you have to take. So they offer joint majors instead of double majors because 2 majors would be too hard. 2 engineering majors kind of in full length would be very hard to do in 4 years. I would say almost impossible unless you're taking like 22 units a semester. So they do joint majors where they have a lot of the like core curriculum engineering classes overlap. So that's something we offer. I think it's only like 1% of students in College of Engineering, but something you can look into. We also have minors in all of our like majors in the College of Engineering. So for engineering students, if you want to do a minor in another like engineering discipline, if you don't want to do like a whole other major, or also for students who aren't in the College of Engineering and like it's a little bit harder to like declare a major, you can declare a minor. So yeah, there's those 2 options, and there's certificates. Certificates they're kind of like less than a minor and a major because it's just a certificate. It's not like a degree of any sort, but it really gets to like expand on like certain knowledge you have. So there's a design innovation certificate and also the entrepreneurship and technology certificate. So I know a lot of industrial engineering students do the second certificate, entrepreneurship and technology certificate. They focus a lot around like industrial engineering classes, but also have like a business aspect to that certificate. So let's say you wanted to like expand and take like classes at the Hall School of Business. If you do that certificate, it kind of like forces you to like expand your knowledge in another college or in another like specific like course of study. And then lastly, we have our management, entrepreneurship and technology program. So that is for incoming like high school seniors who apply into the College of Engineering, who are hoping to do like engineering and business during their undergrad. So it is 4 years of being in both the College of Engineering and the Hall School of Business, and you graduate with 2 like full degree, 2 bachelor's degrees in both disciplines. It's a very like rigorous program. So that's why they like encourage students who really want to do both majors. Like, let's say you only wanted to do it to like get into the business school, that's not going to work. If you drop from like your engineering major, you kind of get dropped from the program. So don't do that. But it's a really good opportunity for students who want to do business and engineering and are really interested in that. So take a look at it. It's also our only program in which if you don't get accepted into it, they'll relook at your application solely for the College of Engineering. So even if you apply and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'll get in, don't worry, like you might still get into the College of Engineering just based off that they're going to look at your application a second time. So yeah, and then lastly, we had a poll, and it seems like most of you are from Southern California. That kind of makes sense. Me and Casey are both from there.
Yay, SoCal. But yeah, and then this is the College of Chemistry. Usually I'm very sad when I get here because most people are interested in EECS, but I saw that 4 of you are interested in chemical engineering. You 4 are pretty cool. But yeah, so College of Chemistry, it is, again, the largest college we have is in science, and then next is engineering. Next up, I believe, is like either CNR or chemistry, but so it's not a big college, but it's a very nice college. I'm a little biased, but it's a little nice. And again, with chemistry, you do apply directly into the college if you get in. you have the major, which is nice. It is ranked #1 globally for chemistry though, so that is pretty neat. You're learning chemistry from some of the top people. And as you can see, there are 3 majors available: chemistry, chemical biology, and chemical engineering. And again, for chemical engineering, it is in the College of Chemistry. The way to think about it is it's chemical engineering. Chemistry comes first in the name. If it was engineering of chemistry, it'd be in the College of Engineering, because chemistry comes first. Think of it in the College of Chemistry. And again, very, very top-notch college. Plenty of elements have been discovered at Berkeley. There are 16 elements that have been discovered at Berkeley. They range from berkelium or berkelium, whichever you would like to call it, californium, seborgium, plutonium. I think einsteinium is also here, maybe. I think there's a lot of EMs. But yeah, so just know there are 16 elements discovered at Berkeley, which is pretty great, pretty phenomenal. No other school has a element named after them, and we have 2, californium and berkelium. So that's a neat thing. And then the picture there, that is Latimer Hall. Latimer Hall also stretches about like 8 or 9 stories above ground. This is just showing like the ground level and below. So a lot of College of Chemistry, a lot of the labs are actually all underground. A lot of like the research labs are all underground. So it keeps it nice and cool down there. So this is actually one of the little entrances that you'll have to go into Latimer. You can also go underneath the stairs going into Pimentel, another one of the of our lecture halls, actually one of our largest lecture halls. Kristina will talk about it next on the next slide. But overall, chemistry is a great college, and chemical engineering, it is engineering and chemistry, or yeah, engineering and chemistry. And so College of Chemistry and College of Engineering are right next door to each other. And so you can walk back and forth and take chemistry classes, take engineering classes, take engineering elective classes in chemistry, chemistry classes in engineering, very much back and forth. Lovely, like, symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, so as Casey was saying, on the right, top right corner, you can see Pimentel Hall. That's one of our larger like lecture sized classroom. So I think it's required for all engineering majors, and obviously for chemical engineering as well. You'll have to take a general chemistry course if you don't already have like AP or IB credit to like fulfill it. So this probably will be one of your first encounters with large classrooms. So this class, general chemistry class, has a lecture section, and then lab. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Your lecture is going to be in this, like, probably Pimentel Hall. It'll be really ranges during like your freshman and sophomore year. They're going to be a bit larger. So Pimentel holds, I think, about 350 students. So that's considered like a large lecture hall. But you'll also have section in which you're in groups of like 25 to 30 students, and that'll be led by a graduate student instructor. And then you'll also have office hours for both the GSI who's in charge of lecture and the GSI who's in charge of your section. You'll also have a lab component. A lot of the times it's like part of the class. For general chemistry, it's like a 1-unit course you take usually during the same time. But you'll also have a like main lecture that you'll have with all the students taking the lab course. That'll be in that 350 person room classroom. Then you'll have a section class with only like 25 students where you'll be able to actually like do the labs and have more hands-on experience. So obviously lecture and section are going to be for any class, I think, above 50 students in the College of Engineering. And then the lab course will be specifically for like chemistry and physics classes. But yeah, you can expect to have a graduate student instructor helping you in a lot of like your larger classroom sizes as a like supplemental to those large lecture classes. And then class size, like I said, it's going to be dependent on major. Computer science classes are going to be a lot larger because, as you saw from the polls, as you saw from the pie chart, a lot of students are interested in that major. And because of that, they have to make sure all the students are able to take the class. So they're going to have larger classroom sizes to kind of like accommodate for that. But some classes can be, I've had a class as small as like 8 students, but I've also had a class like 500 students. So it really ranges. It'll be dependent on major, and also like whether it's your first semester or like you're a junior or senior, your classes are going to get smaller throughout your 4 years. But yeah, in terms of like participation during class, a lot of times like the large lecture style classroom professors will have iClickers, which is basically a little remote that has like A, B, C, D, E, and they'll put up a question with multiple choice answers. You'll answer it, discuss with people around you, and that kind of just makes sure that you're talking to your peers. A lot of the times you get to know people that way, especially if it's like your first semester in Berkeley, and overall just gets like the students engaged in what they're teaching. And then resources for students, we have the Student Learning Center that's available to all students, regardless of what college they're in, which has a lot of tutoring help, especially for those introductory classes. We have engineering student services, which has more engineering specific help. So let's say like tutoring specifically for an engineering class, you're probably going to find in like the engineering student services. In there as well, you can find all of our academic advisors and peer advisors. So your academic advisors are going to be with you for your entire 4 years. I've only had 2 because I switched from one major to the other, but if you don't switch majors, you're going to keep that same advisor 4 years. They get to know you very well in your situation. And along with that, they're kind of like divided up by major. So they also know your major very well. So if you're like questioning, oh, should I take this class or that class? Like they might be able to help you as well. And you'll get to know them really well throughout, like by the time you're senior year, you'll probably like know them on a first name basis. But yeah, on the right-hand side, I talked about Fintel. There's also some research in there in terms of like, or not research, but like lab classrooms. So those look like a bunch of GSIs, probably like trying out the lab to make sure it's like good for undergraduate students. And then as well as some like the classrooms in, I think, yeah, this is in College of Engineering section, but yeah.
Neat. And then, yeah, so then we can kind of jump quickly into student diversity and just some of the student life. I want to make sure we have enough time to reach the question and answer section. So here is just some of the programs that are available to engineering students or just to students in general when they're here on campus. I know that Kristina is in Hispanic Engineers and Scientists, or she's in Hispanics in, and yeah, I think engineering and sciences. I always mess up which one she's in. She's also in Society of Women Engineers. I know that one's not up here. So, but there's also plenty of women in science and engineering a theme program. So that's called WISE. And it's actually, if you go and watch our general campus tour on every day, they'll talk a lot more about housing. But one of the theme programs is WISE, where you can opt in to live with students of like-minded or like interests, which would be women in science and engineering. Yeah, so that's always possible. There's also the Black Engineering and Science Student Association, or BESA, BESA. EOP, STEM, pre-engineering program, plenty of different programs and plenty of different resources out there for students to join and be a part of, or to help with, or to help others, or to get the help from others. Plenty of resources out there. These are just a few that we have listed here. And they're all great, again, to make friends and to just find the people that would help you while you're navigating through college, because it is a very difficult thing to navigate, and with all these people, and also like, you know, getting a job and all of that, very great things. And then the pictures here, again, a lot of socializing, a lot of making friends, a lot of hanging out in clubs. But the bottom right, that is Kresge Library, and there are 24 libraries on campus. Kresge is the engineering one. You can go into any one of the libraries to study, but Kresge is a very neat one where you can sit there as much as you want and bring in food and have a gossip session while they're studying. So a lot of fun in Kresge, but yeah, so there's a lot of things going on, mentorship programs or T-Prep, engineering career conference. There's a lot of conferences and whatnot for the diversity and all the different groups available to students on campus.
Yeah, and going off of student diversity, we also have a lot of other clubs that focus like on diversity of interest for students. So we have club and competition clubs, and then competition teams. Competition teams are most of the pictures that you see on your screen. So we have a Cal Sol team, we have a Cal Steel Bridge team that Casey talked about. We also have a Berkeley Formula Racing team, which I think is like the coolest one yet. And then like just also societies for certain majors. I know there's one for like industrial engineering. There's obviously the Biomedical Engineering Society, Society of Women Engineers. But also there's, even if your major isn't listed in the majors we talked about, I know I wanted to like possibly pursue aerospace. There's not that specific major, but there's a lot of other majors that coincide with like what you should study. And then in the top right corner, you can see there's like an aerospace team, like club competition team on campus. So even if we didn't like talk about your specific interest, there's probably a competition team for it. So yeah, look out for those.
Yeah, definitely a lot of clubs and a lot of competition teams. It's always a lot of fun, like just watching them or just hearing about what they do. And I'm like, oh my God, I could never. But so jumping into some building highlights. So labs, makerspaces, there are plenty of labs all throughout Berkeley. There's like environmental labs. I went to a fungi lab where we went just like, dissected fungi and talked about fungus. It was great. Plenty of chemistry labs and also engineering labs. So here are just some of them listed here. So the Saturday Hall, they have CITRUS, which I mean is Center, which I think stands for Center of Institute and Technology in the Interest of Society, or yeah, Center of Institute, Citrus. Look it up. Really great. They have a lot of cool things that students have made that are just kind of like fun prototypes. So you can go and check out and like what they could possibly be. My favorite one was they have headphones. So they're like over the ear headphones, but on the very top of the band, it's cat ears and they're speakers. So if you're listening to a cool song or have everyone else hear it, they have the speakers out so you can like share the music. They just happen to shape them like cat ears, which I thought was just so like, I think it's kawaii. Isn't that the Japanese like for cute or whatever? Kawaii, yeah, whatever. Very great, I loved it. Jacobs Hall, the Jacob Institute for Design Innovation, a lot of design, and they have prototypes, makerspaces all around. 3D printing shops. I know they have a 3D printing shop in Soda. I actually took a 3D printing class there, so that was a fun class to take. Hesse Hall has the mechanical engineering machine shop. Again, Hesse, they also have like, that was like where I remember they had like the mechanical engineering like lobby or like study lounge for all the mechanical engineers there. They also have a machine shop, so you go and just make whatever machines you need or like prototypes, or I keep using the word prototype, but you can just go and like make things there within Hesse Hall. Davis Hall, like I mentioned before, the civil engineering construction bay, biggest construction bay. They build like steel bridge, concrete canoe, and also they have like a giant crane that can move things around. Just a lot of opportunities there to use it. And then the Richmond Field Station. So Berkeley also has a field station located in Richmond, which there's also a bus that can take you there. I believe it's like a 20 minute drive to Richmond, and they just have a lot of open space there you can go. I know like the Formula team that Kristina was talking about, they have like they practice racing around over there. We also have Cal Sol, like the solar car, they practice there, and also just a lot of buildings for them available and a lot of space out there to practice and like develop whatever they need to. And then other pictures on the top left, that's the field station, like, you know, picturesque sunset. Then we have Jacobs Hall, top right. Davis Hall, there's a picture of Davis Hall with the construction base. So it looks very clad, but that's just because it looks into a construction bay. There's really much to see in there. And then there's the student collaboration, just again, students collaborating. And so those are the fun makerspaces and labs available.
Yeah, and then we also have research on campus. So if you're interested in doing research, there's a lot of opportunities. We have the undergraduate research apprenticeship program, which is for undergrad students, regardless of what college they're in, but a lot of Berkeley engineering students like to take part in it. It basically gives you an upper hand in doing research, even if you have like little to no experience. Specifically, they pair you up with graduate students or professors at UC Berkeley. You're able to work alongside them. So I know a lot of my friends have like taken part in this specific research and they've loved it. And like some of them have started since like summer after freshman year, like doing research. So you can like start off freshman year, you can wait till senior year to do research, like up to you. We also have Beehive, which is kind of like a collective, kind of like how to like find internships, which we also have, along with like advisors will send out emails if there's internship opportunities or research opportunities. We also have the Lawrence Berkeley National Lab up in the hill, which a lot of students after graduation, but also during their time in undergrad, do a lot of research there. And I know a couple people who've been able to, you know, do their undergraduate degree and also do research at the same time. And it's like just a great opportunity because a lot of the time they can stay there after graduation. And then we already talked about the Sucharja Center for Entrepreneurship, but inside of Sucharja Dai, there's a bunch of like different groups, such as like the Citrus Lab that Casey talked about. There's also the Collider Cup that happens, I think, once a semester with all like the competition teams. And then there's undergrad and professional programs slash research you can always look into. But yeah, you can see on the left-hand side, there's Oski doing some research. That could be you. And overall, just like a lot of research and also a lot of study spaces to like do like a lot of time you'll do research in a lab, but a lot of time research it's like computer-based. So you may like find yourself in like a common area doing research as well.
Yep, plenty of research. And very quick, I'll go over some notable alumni. So there's Ruud Goldberg. He was actually one of our engineers. And the best way I can think about him is just, complex machine inventor. He would make crazy machines to do like simple tasks. The way it's a very old movie, but Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I remember watching as a kid. My mom loved it. And just they had a very complex machine all to crack an egg. And so that is Ruud Goldberg. So he was a Berkeley alumni, which I think is a weird thing, but a cool thing. Then we have the Dean Liu. I can't say the name. I'm horrible at words. You guys already know. But so yeah, she was an instructor, a researcher, and now she's an administrator. And she's the very first female dean of the College of Engineering. And she is wholeheartedly, she's crazy accomplished. Look her up, and she has so many prizes. Not like not the Turing Prize, but she had some other prize for something. I remember looking her up and seeing it. Then we have another name I'm gonna butcher. Shafi Goldwasser. I should really practice these. But then she had the Turing Prize for computer science. I believe she had something to do with some way on how the microchips would be cooled, or I think that was something to do with a microchip. That's the one thing I know about her. And then again, Steve Wozniak, that's the one guy I know I can say correctly. And I know more about him because he was the co-founder of Apple. And then besides that, like Kristina mentioned at the very beginning, 150 years of women. So we've been admitting women into Berkeley for 150 years. And also when we first started admitting women, they also went straight into engineering. So we've been having a very great time with engineering here at Berkeley, especially being one of the first universities to admit women and having them with engineering. So there's that.
All right, I am back. Thank you both for that wonderful presentation. And now we will move on to our live Q&A portion. So we got a bunch of great questions. And the first one that I wanted to go to is for Kristina. So someone asked, how does Berkeley help to find jobs after you graduate in engineering? And are there helpful resources for internships, on-campus work, or research, particularly that you have found helpful?
Yeah, so in terms of like finding what to do after graduating, there's always a bunch of career fairs that you're able to take part in. There's career fairs for like the entire university. There's also like specific ones for the College of Engineering, and sometimes specifically by major. I know, I'm not sure if it's like a career fair, but there's an event that happens once a semester where you're able to talk to a lot of like companies that focus on like computer science, since a lot of our students like are interested in that. So there's always career fairs to look forward to. Also, if you're on a competition team or in like some sort of like club that's engineering based, they'll always have a bunch of like alumni reach out with opportunities, or overall just like professional development, like workshops and all of that help a lot of engineering students get opportunities to do like research or internships and all of that. They take you to engineering conferences. So yeah, just get involved in like the clubs and competition teams. And then if there's like a career fair like happening, specifically with like College of Engineering, they'll send out an email and just like, you know, get dressed up, print out some resumes, and then like go and talk to some of the people there.
Awesome, thank you. All right, our next one was from Rachel, and she asked, how difficult is it to switch between majors if you change your mind? So Casey, you can take that one.
Yeah, so I can answer this two ways. One is if you're in the College of Letters and Science, the College of Environmental Design, or the Rausser College of Natural Resources. And with that, before you declare your major, if you decide you want to change your major, it's very easy. Just start taking classes for that other major. And then eventually when you accumulate enough units, you would then declare for that major that you would hope you'd want. So say you went into Letters and Science saying intending in political science, but then you want to change into computer science. If you did not declare yet, you would just change and start doing it. And that's that goes up to 70 units. But if you have already declared and you'd want to still change, if you're below 90 units, I think there's still another way of process for you to change the major. And that's outside of College of Engineering and Chemistry. Actually, then also within College of Engineering and College of Chemistry. The same goes for that, where if you would like to change majors, you have to go and talk to your advisor because you have already declared your major. So you go and talk to your major advisor, and you would say, hey, I would like to change majors. How should I do this? They say, okay, you can start taking this class and this class. Go talk to this advisor. They would send you in all the right direction. They give you all the right paperwork and everything you would need in order to declare the correct, or in order to change the majors. It's not the most difficult, but you do have to kind of be on top of it because, again, Berkeley has a lot of students here. So they kind of aren't going to coddle you and say, okay, well, I'll help you do this. You have to be the one to walk in and say, I like to change majors. I think I want to do this. I need this. So like you kind of like, they'll give you the right paperwork, but you kind of have to be in there saying, I know I want to do this beforehand. So, but yeah, so it's not the most difficult. You do have to be on top of your things, you know, maintain a semi-decent GPA, like a 3.0 or higher, so that, you know, you are a nice applicant for the transfer into the different major.
All right, awesome. And then the next question we have is for Kristina. Someone asked, how do you manage your time as an engineer? Are you able to participate in other social engagements as well?
Yeah, so it obviously depends on every single student in the College of Engineering. Depending on that semester, I've taken semester with 13 units, I've taken semesters with 19 units. So based on that, you're gonna have like more or less time for like social engagements and like stuff outside of the college. But I think it's always important for students in like the College of Engineering to like get out of that bubble and kind of like find students in other colleges or find students with different interests. For me, the best thing that's helped me is like the club me and Casey are in, the UC Rally Committee. I've had so much fun just like going to football games. Like it's a Saturday, like Saturday all day. I have like a midterm on Monday, but you know what? I'm there for the football game and like forgetting about it. And I'm still able to like, you know, utilize Sunday and like do all my work then. So you like for sure have time for like social engagements. Also like use like your Google Calendar and like meet up with people, like especially right now when like everything's virtual. I'll like schedule myself like Zoom meetings with friends and stuff. So like even if I'm home, I'm still able to like communicate with them. So I think it's just being like organized with your time and like maybe like having a planner, using Google Calendar, and also just like joining clubs that are kind of like more in the social scene, or like joining Greek life or something like that, because that'll kind of like force you to go. Whereas like if you're not in those clubs, like you'll see the events happening, but you're like, I'll go next time. But if you're in them, like you're kind of like more forced to be like, oh, all my friends are going, I'll go too.
All right. And actually just one more quick question before we move into kind of our wrap up. So someone asked, what are some prominent traits that you see in Berkeley or specifically engineering students? So Casey, you can take that one.
Yeah, so I can definitely answer this very quickly because Kristina already talked about a lot of what I was going to say was being on top of it, and like joining the clubs and going to RallyCon is a really great thing, but also being on top of like studying. And so the prominent like trait I would see is students who actually go out and like have a nice little planner that they go and make sure they have time to study and then go out and have time to party and still have time to go grocery shopping if they live off campus. Or so the prominent trait that I see is students that are on top of what they're doing. They do not procrastinate. I mean, they still procrastinate, but not as much as me. So, so they are on top of that in that aspect. And along with that, I know that Joel asked, that was another question we sadly can't get to, but what are some optimal places for studying? So engineering students, they also have a lot of time there because they plan out everything appropriately. They always have fine time to go and study. And some also places I would say for studying are inside Doe Library, because Doe Library is very quiet. It's like a very traditional library, very grand, very gorgeous on the inside, beautiful, very optimal place for studying. There's also, again, 23 other libraries, plenty more to go out and discover. But my personal favorite is Moffett Library. It's been a while since I've been there. But Moffett Library is open 24/7 on a regular school day. And so you can go in there and there's actually 5 different floors, but the two main studying floors are the 4th and 5th floor. 5th floor is very quiet. We have to be kind of hushed. And the 4th floor is very loud. And being a tour guide, I love to talk. So I'm always on the 4th floor. But those are the options for studying. And again, great traits are to be good at time management.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely good advice. All right. So we're going to move into our last question, which is simply just why Berkeley? What was it about Berkeley that drew you here and kept you here? So Kristina, you can start.
Yeah, so I originally applied to Berkeley Engineering solely based off of the name. We've talked a lot about like how prestigious it is, and I just applied for it because of that, not really like knowing much else about it, and because it was like one of the options on the UC application. Once I found out like in March-ish, I learned about Cal Day, which is kind of like a day where we celebrate everything UC Berkeley related, and there's a bunch of student groups that are like talking to prospective students. There's like rallies during the day. There's like just a bunch of stuff going on. Like I think the year I came, they like estimated like 40,000 people on campus that came to like celebrate. So yeah, it's a great day. Highly recommend if it happens next year to like come out if you're a prospective student. So that day kind of like showed me a little bit more of like what Berkeley was, other than like just like in terms of like education. So I talked to some engineering advisors. I talked to other students that had gotten admitted into the college and like heard about their stories, current students. I got an engineering tour, and then I took like a whole campus tour and like fell in love with the campus. And then I ended my campus tour and they were like, oh, there's gonna be a noon rally. So I was like, oh, let me go check it out. And it was just like all of these like Cal Spirit groups, just like singing Cal songs, playing Cal songs, and just being like so like enthusiastic about their like whole like college experience, and like being part of like Spirit in high school, that like resonated with me and I loved it. But yeah, I think ultimately I made my decision on that day just because I love the location of it, knew I was going to get a great education, love the school spirit, and overall just like everyone you meet is so passionate. Like I sat in on a lecture for like a professor at Berkeley that day and like learned so much, and I was like, oh, I really hope this is how like all classes here are. And like I've learned that they're exactly like that. Professors just like know so much about every topic. And it's just like so cool to listen to them. So yeah, that's the day I made my decision, and like been best decision ever. Like I love everyone here and like have made so many friends. So highly recommend. You're already like on this tour, highly recommend applying to Berkeley.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. And then Casey, to kind of wrap things up.
Yes, I can go very quickly. So a lot with Kristina, coming to Caladay and just seeing the spirit, loved it so much. But also I have a twin sister. And so our entire life, we're kind of besting who's me the better one, who's a better twin, who's a better twin. And so she ended up getting into UCLA, and I was waitlisted at Berkeley, and I was very sad. But I got in off the waitlist, went to Caladay, loved it so much. So amazing. So now I go to the #1 public university. She goes to #2, so I win. But yeah, so I came to Caladay, and I love the spirit so much. That's why I decided to come. And also my one quick word to everyone out there is that whenever you're applying to colleges or whatever college you end up going to, make sure to get involved in the spirit, because the spirit is really what makes it so much fun in college. Like every school has a great program here, there, or otherwise, but really want to become going to a college that makes you proud to have a sign like this. So there's that.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you both for all of your wonderful words and advice. And I wanted to just close out by showing all of you watching us ways that you can contact us. So feel free to first and foremost follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @VisitUCBerkeley. You can also email tour@berkeley.edu with any additional questions if you sent one in and it didn't get answered today, and a student campus ambassador will answer that question for you. We also have a Bear Talk blog where ambassadors talk about anything, their favorite memory at Berkeley, favorite experience. And so you can check that out directly from us. And then a different virtual visit, specifically about engineering as well, is available on our website if you want to rewatch any of this information, because I know there was a lot to listen to. And also I would invite you to check out our legacy of 150 years of women at Berkeley, as well as our chancellor's messages about standing together during this difficult time, and any fall instruction updates regarding COVID. So, and also, sorry, one more link. If you want to learn more about engineering as well, you can visit their website, and they have really great comprehensive information at engineering.berkeley.edu. But with that, thank you everyone for joining us, and we're going to send you off with a Go Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Bears!
Go Bears!
Everyone, have a great day.